Hey everybody, it's Liz Coopersmith, Silvertron Events. So it is April 4th, 2016, and I've been a little hit or miss with the Ask Liz videos lately, so as penance, I'm going to attempt to do one like every day for the next week, or at least the next 5 days. Let's not go crazy. So the funny thing is I don't have anything to read off of my computer because this question is one that I got from one of my favorite bartenders at my favorite bar across the street. It's called Simsies in Burbank. They have these specials like every week, and on Tuesdays it's Manhattans for like happy hour prices. And as anybody who follows me on Instagram knows, I do love a good Manhattan. So anyway, there's actually two bartenders there who are getting married in the next few months, and one of them, well, first of all, I'm always saying to them, ask me questions, because they're really kind of awesome. So, ask me wedding advice questions, because as you can see, this is what I do. I was talking to one of them, and he's getting married in Catalina in September. And so first of all, he asked me, when is it that they should start sending out invitations? Because it's September, it's the middle of September, it's like September 15th or something like that. And so I told him that he should probably shoot for not Labor Day weekend, Memorial Day weekend, so the end of May, just to get them out. It's a good, it's a good goal. And then he was worried a little bit about RSVPs. Just because, like I said, they're getting married in Catalina. Catalina is very, very small. And the hall that they found, I think it's a hall. So a hall or like a hotel ballroom only holds 100 people, so that's their limit. But they got their lists together, and it looks like it's going to be close to like 115, 120 people that they're inviting. And he asked whether or not that was going to be a problem. Like, what were they going to do as far as like try to keep the numbers down and stay under 100. So if you've got a situation like this, and I've had several couples who've had this situation, if you have a situation like this, first of all, you need to be very, very clear about your numbers. So go ahead and write down everybody that you're going to invite, include any significant others. Don't automatically just say, oh no, we can't have, people can't bring dates. Write everything down. And also, if there are people like your best man who doesn't have a girlfriend right now and is probably not going to have a girlfriend, you don't have to give him a +1. If at some point down the road he's like, hey, I met this girl Linda and I wanted to bring her to the wedding and like I'm really serious, or just sort of gauge that level and deal with that then. But write down everybody who you think is going to be invited. This might take a minute because you've got your families who have ideas, you've got each other who has ideas, people might pop up all of a sudden, but take like a week or so to write down everybody who's going to be invited and be realistic about it. Be realistic about it. Another thing, if you're trying to kind of keep the guest list down, and this is something I always recommend, you don't have to send out save the dates. Like, the people that really need to know that you're getting married know. Like, you've already told your parents, you already told your close friends, you're already working on telling your wedding party. You don't need to send out this huge announcement to everybody that you know that you're getting married. So you don't automatically need to send out save the dates. I mean, you don't have to do anything actually, but if you're worried about like your guest list, you don't have to send out save the dates. Word will spread, people will get invites, and then that will just be that. So yeah, just being realistic about your list. And then he asked me, well, what should we do as far as like an RSVP date? And that point, well, first of all, RSVPs are just going to be a pain in the ass. They just are. Just because once you send out the invitations and then they start coming in and you get really happy because people are coming to your wedding, and then, a couple of weeks before the RSVPs are due, then there's like a bunch of people who just haven't RSVP'd because they think that, A, you already know that they're coming and there's no reason to, or B, they're not sure if they're coming, or C, they're not coming and they don't want to tell you. People are weird. You know how they're, humans. Also, since they're having a destination wedding, I mean, Catalina's a little bit of a destination from Los Angeles, and also most of their people live up north in San Francisco, in the San Francisco area. You also have to keep that in mind as far as how many people are realistically going to be able to come down. So going back to the actual question of like keeping your guest list down, one of the things you have to remember is that with every wedding, it's going to be about 10 to 50% of your list are just not going to make it. So if they're talking about like 110 people that they believe that they're inviting, 110, 115, they should be okay as far as hitting that magic number of like 100. But, and I know I'm going all over the place, what you should also do is check with your venue to see like what is the penalty if you do go over 100. Is it possible to shove an extra person in? Is it possible, and I mean, well, this is worst case scenario, so don't plan to have more people than your hall fits, but this wouldn't be the first time that this has happened to your venue. So just check and see what the penalty is. Do you have to pay more? Are they going to have to sit in the in the hallway? Just figure out what it is that's going to happen if you have a few more people than you need. So anyway, going back to the RSVP date. So basically, what I like to do, and I really like the 3 week rule. Go back to your venue first of all. Find out what the drop dead date is to get in your number of guests and your catering list. Like basically, when is the last date that they need everything, and they need to know who's coming and how many people and what they're eating and blah 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 and all that stuff. And then work back about 3 weeks from that date for your RSVPs. The reason I say 3 weeks, I usually give it about a month when I'm doing timelines, but the reason that I say 3 weeks is that gives you enough time. The RSVP date comes up, you look around and go, oh, the RSVP, oh, that RSVP date is here. That just happened. It was a couple of days ago. Well, wait a minute. Who is it who has an RSVP? And then you can check your list and see who you haven't heard from. And then you can send them a friendly email like, hey, dude, are you coming? And then you've got some time to not hear back from them. Seriously, this is going to happen. I feel really bad. I'm sorry. Not time to hear back from them. And then you have time to track them down, and you still have a little bit of a buffer where you're not going to be too freaked out because you've got to give numbers to your venue in a few days. So I usually say about 3 weeks before, which gives you plenty of time, gives the people who just haven't replied, because of course you know they're coming, to reply back, for you to track everybody down and to get a final list to your catering team. So so about 3 weeks before. That's usually how I try and time it. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I was talking to him about it. It seems like it's just going to be a really nice day. They're very, very chill. Catalina is one of their favorite places. And it's going to help that they're having a destination wedding. But seriously, if you were talking about your RSVPs, somewhere between 10 and 50% of the people are not going to show. If that sounds like really, really close, then you might have to do things like not invite everybody at once or have a B list or something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's a general rule. If you haven't asked this question, because I am doing this all week, if you haven't asked this question, you can go to my website, which is silvercharmevents.com, silver like the metal, charm like the bracelet, events plural.com. Click on contact and send me your question, and I will either answer it in person or answer it in email, because answer it by email, or I'll answer it on the video. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys at the end of the aisle. Bye.